Activate your personal shield and get your trait to level 3, because it's time for the Star Wars Battlefront podcast. Welcome to the Star Wars Battlefront podcast, episode 9, with our special guest,
Sassafras Jones. Like that? Yeah. Sassafras Jones 69, actually. The 69 was just a random number.
So we're going to go over some platinum trophy discussion, Battlefront pros and cons, Call of Duty versus Battlefront. I want to hear your take on those two franchises.
Cool, because I have a friend that kind of left one franchise for the other franchise. I call him the enemy. We are not your friends. People are probably wondering who I am, right? Yeah. I'm just a fan. So if you're a fan, you probably want to contact these guys and you can appear on the podcast or be on the podcast, because it's not a video podcast.
Yeah.
Talk on the podcast.
Audio podcasts are a lot easier than video.
Oh yeah.
You can just stay in your pajamas and record all day long.
In my underwear right now. I'm 400 pounds. No, I'm just kidding.
All of the podcasts I listen to, they're like, I'm in my underwear right now.
Yeah, well, each podcast is different, and you always get the one that says, like, what are we drinking today? And they always go through what they're drinking. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Who cares what you're drinking? Let's just get down to it. So let's get down to it.
Yeah. When were you first introduced to this galaxy far, far away?
Me was 1977. The original movie came out, and I believe it came out re-release in 78 or something like that. And my mom took me to go see it. And I can remember hiding my eyes when they first walk into the cantina scene. I was scared to death. And my mom's like, I was only, I think, 4 at the time, so it wasn't, it was scary, and I still, to this day, I was like, how did she get me in that theater? But I guess back then it wasn't, it's not as stringent as it is now. She probably could have taken me to The Exorcist or something. So I remember covering my eyes, and then I saw Empire in the drive-in theater, and they played it back to back with Star Wars, so that was cool. I got to see that again. And then Return of the Jedi I saw with I think an uncle. I can't even remember. I have a lot of uncles and aunts, so I can't remember which uncle, but I remember going in there and he was too young to get us in. And so the guy behind us said, "Oh, I know these guys. Yeah, I'm related and stuff," and just talk the talk. And they said, "Okay." They let us in under the guise that he was like a great, like a second uncle or something. And yeah, he just kind of gave us a wink and a nod and was like, "Yeah, see you guys later. I'm leaving, or I'm going up to a different locale." Thank God, because he could have been a creepy creeper, right? So. Yeah, and we watched Return of the Jedi, and I was, well, ever since the first one, I've been spinning, so. I have Darth Vader helmets, and I still have the original Millennium Falcon, and my kids play with all that now, so. My boys have lightsabers, they're only like 3 and 1, so they're pretty much into it. As much as I am.
Were you surprised when Darth Vader revealed that he was Luke's father?
I can kind of remember that, but at the same time, I was more I think as shocked that he actually cut his hand off when I was a kid, because I was like, "What the heck does that, man?" And then reveals that afterwards. "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm your dad," and the guy's like screaming in pain. I was like, I can't understand why keep that a secret a little bit longer then, like, if you're gonna do that. But yeah,
it's impossible.
Yeah. But I was, yeah, I was also, there's a little bit of overacting, I think, on Mark Hamill's part, but I also blame Lucas for that. He could have been a little bit more mellow with that, but
yeah, you're my father. Okay.
Yeah, Mark Hamill was the only one that knew that secret, though, right? Because the actor Prowse that was doing Darth Vader, I think he said something about "I killed your father" or something. Like his line was totally different. And so even the people on the set didn't know at the time. It was only Luke, Mark Hamill that knew. So it was pretty interesting. When I was a kid, it wasn't as big of a shock, I think, for me, because I was still a little bit younger. I played the Empire. I don't play the prequels for my kids. It's called the original. And I played that one for my oldest son, Empire, and he really didn't grasp that either. He was like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. And even when I show Anakin and stuff and try to like give him the family tree, he still just is like, okay. So in my mind, I thought, you know what, enough of that. I'll just wait till he gets a little bit older and then show up when he can grasp the whole concept that Darth Vader's actually his biological father. So
I am bound and determined to find someone who was surprised by Darth Vader being Luke's father.
Well, not only that, but in German, Vader means father. So,
I know.
So could have. I mean, back then, I mean, it's not like it is now. Do a Google check and find out. But
Darth
has anyone checked
father.
Kylo Ren or anything and seen what that means? But
that would be kind of strange if it like means something else in another language.
Yeah, yeah. Jive turkey. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I was no, I just as a guy growing up in the 70s and 80s, it was, you know, it was always Star Wars was always the thing. Like it was, you know, when you were a kid running around, you always did the lightsaber sounds. Whenever you had swords, it wasn't, you know, like
sound effect swords.
Yeah, it was like you know, you were Luke, you were another Jedi, or you know, even Yoda.
Like
oh yeah. My sons do all the sound effects for it too, so it's kind of cool. But the other cool thing about that is when I can remember when the prequels came out. Watching the trailer for the first one, I was like, this is gonna be good. Like, I can't believe, whoa, like this is gonna be a freaking fantastic. I waited in line for 2 days out in the rain.
Oh.
And we played, like, the guys I met there too in line, like we played Monopoly, Star Wars Monopoly, and like we had a good time, and then we went and saw it, and everybody was just like, what the, like, I just remember the guy that like was beside me the entire time. It was me and two other buddies, and then these two guys on the right that we kind of hung out with when we were in line. And they brought a tent and everything. We just slept out in the freaking sleeping bag. But it was brutal. He was like, he just looks at me shaking his head like, well, where did we go wrong? Like he was blaming himself for this. It's nothing to do with you. This is like,
what did I do wrong to deserve this?
Yeah. I said, this is, in my mind, this was like, almost like the dark side, where Lucas was like drunk with power and just everybody was his yes men, and he came up with all our reasons on why that didn't work. Now that I'm 40 years old, I kind of look at it a little bit differently, and I know why he kind of did what he did. I think he was just marketing to like my kids, and it was movies made for the next generation as opposed to us, the fans and the guys who grew up with it. And that's fine. I think, you know, that was great and all, but we were expecting a totally different movie. If I would have known, you know, you had lines like, "Are you an angel?" and things like that, that'd be the last the last reason why I would want to sleep out for 2 days for that movie. So, I mean, all in all, it was a good experience. It had its pros and cons. I love Darth Maul, the lightsaber scene. I mean, anytime I ever was to watch it now, I just fast forward to the lightsaber scene where Darth Maul's in it and stuff. It's fantastic. And the pod race scene, I mean, people have their pros and cons about that, but I thought that was pretty cool too. So anyway, that was a long drawn out answer to a simple question.
I heard a cool way to watch the actual Star Wars movies. It's called the Butcher Way, where you watch A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, the second one, the third one, and then the sixth one. They don't even do the first one.
I guess. You know what? I actually do like the third one. I thought the third one was pretty cool. I just, I don't know, just something. I think the one scene that I really liked in the third one, and I have a buddy who kind of argues with me against it, was, you know, right before Anakin turns and he's staring out the window at, I think he was at Coruscant or whatever, and you know, there's like some opera singing in the background or something, and he's just like, it's just that moment, right, where he's gonna turn, and you can tell like the tide's shifting. Like it was almost like a breath in the middle of everything, but it was that kind of poignant moment in like that galaxy where everything kind of just started going downhill, right? So it was. I thought that part, and well, you just wanted to see the whole Anakin turning into Darth Vader part without the long drawn out no at the end, but
No!
everything crushes except for Senator Palpatine for some unknown reason. Everything's fine and dandy after that. But no, I just I liked 3 for a couple of parts in it, but yeah, all in all,
I think they nailed what they were trying to go with the original with 3. Like they actually got the whole animation CGI in and done, and then they got it mixed where not everything like a piece of pears floating in midair. Yeah. That's fake.
Chomping midair. If they would have started with 3, I would have been happy. Like if episode 1 was 3, that would have been, for me, I would have been like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
but
then
I liked how.
Sorry, go on.
I liked how when I was first watching the original ones, how I was wondering who Darth Vader was and kind of like guessing myself, and then when I watched the prequels, it's like, okay, he's not that cool when he's younger, but he's pretty cool when he's older, but I don't really need that explanation of who he is.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but midi-chlorians, like, you're kind of like, okay, come on now. Like, oh yeah, like
this
they
is
could
fantasy, not science fiction.
Yeah, yeah. The galaxy far away, lightsaber. Come on, you guys are pulling my leg. Like, there's no such thing as midi-chlorians. But I guess I mean, you can do anything you want if you're the creator of that world, and I think, you know, he like I said, I think there should have been a couple people to rein him in at some points, but at the same time, I mean, it was Lucas's baby. He could do whatever he wanted, and that was, I mean, you gotta respect the guy that got like
Star Wars, actually.
Yeah, he's the one that built the whole empire. Yeah, that empire. And,
after getting rejected by like 25 other studios.
Yep, and like to come up with, I mean, obviously he had people surrounded himself with creative people that came up with, you know, the design work for certain things, and you know, some things were more simplified than others because of the technology back then. But at the same time, you look at it and you're like Star Wars. Growing up, that you look at like that first movie looks like, if they made it now, it looks like it could be like the budget on it would bust somebody. Like, it just looks like beautiful. Like the amount of work and detail that went into that. Like even like R2, like being rusty and looks like he was like actually, You know what I mean? He's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that stuff is impressive. Everything before that, you know, you had Flash Gordon, and everybody kind of looked like it was on sets, and people had like coiffed hair, and nobody looked like dirty and rugged, right? And then I think Alien, the first Alien movie came out. I'm not sure if it came out before Star Wars. I'm just trying to think. My memory's a little rusty at the age of 40. But anyway, that was very a lived-in world as well, and I like when they do that. So you get the feeling that there's some history behind what you're seeing on the screen, right? So
it's crazy that you just said it's a lived-in world. I just listened to a podcast of Star Trek versus Star Wars. It had Adam Savage on it, and he was like, it's a lived-in world. Like in Star Trek, you'd have 4 dots on side of a spaceship, and in Star Wars, it'd be 1 dot, missing dot, and then 2 dots.
Yeah, yeah, he's so true. I didn't hear that one, but he sounds like he's a genius. But no, I totally agree with him. Like it is totally a lived-in place, and you know things aren't always perfect in that world, which is good to see.
And you're saying how the midichlorians, well, someone brought that up to J.J. Abrams, and he was like, I don't ever want to hear that word ever again.
He's a smart man.
What are you even talking about?
No one knew what he was talking about. That's the problem. We're all like, okay, yeah, we get that. Like, we get all those references. You don't have to, yeah, I don't know. That's going into different philosophical worlds, I guess, in the Star Wars universe. But yeah, I just, I mean, I took the like I said, I took the first 3 as like a good introduction for little kids that weren't associated with the first 3, and whoever would show their kids the first three, yeah. First 3 first, I don't know what's going through your head. Like, I don't know. Although my boys seem to like Empire way better than the first original Star Wars, and I think it's because of Yoda. He brings a kind of a cool dynamic to it. So.
Yeah, he was always my favorite, besides Luke Skywalker. When I was a kid, I dressed up as Luke Skywalker. I had like this Taekwondo shirt on. Like all white.
Do you want to hear who I went to school as for Halloween one time? A different, just totally different world back then. I went as Lando Calrissian.
Oh.
So I am Caucasian. My mom dressed me up like Lando and in blackface, I guess. It'd be classified as that now. And I really looked like I didn't look like myself, and like teachers were napping me in the middle of class and taking pictures, and I don't have a picture of it, but yeah, it's my mom went all out and like hand sewed like the cape and everything. Like I was hand styling that.
That's awesome.
The hand solo cape. But again, I would never recommend anybody do that now. It's kind of not PC bra, so yeah, it's brutal. But anyway, sorry.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. Oh yeah, I've seen it 3 times, and twice I saw it in motion chairs and 3D and did everything the proper way. The only way I haven't seen it yet is in IMAX, so I'm hoping to see that before that'll be out a little bit longer, I think, than the average movie.
I think the Blu-ray is supposed to come out in April.
Yeah, so it'll I'll hit that before
We watched it in Real D 3D. We got all 4 glasses.
Yeah. The limited edition glasses.
Yeah.
Holy smoke! Yeah, I wasn't about to pay that much for those.
we're a family of 6, so I got one, Sam got one, our 2 little brothers got one.
Yeah.
So we've got the BB-8, Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma, and then the Stormtrooper. We got the last pair of Stormtrooper the glasses.
Yeah. Well, my son has the flamethrower trooper. He got one for at daycare he's at as a gift, and it's a 12-inch.
Oh
12
yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty cool looking. But his joints don't move, and his legs and his arms. Like he just is like just the shoulders and the hip legs move like at the hips. There's no. Yeah, I was like, come on, Disney. Like, are you kidding me, man? Like,
We've got some nice.
everything. You can't put a couple of like little pins in his legs to make his like knee joints and stuff like that. Kind of cheap. I don't know. It smells of cheapness to me. But.
We've got the 1977 like action figure ones, and they've got movement in the elbows and wrists.
Yeah. I got. Well, I'm looking at my Millennium Falcon right now, and like I have about 2 or 3 characters in there, and they're fully like the wrists and everything move. So that's crazy. But yeah, and then I bought the lightsabers. Cool thing is that the lightsaber, Kylo Ren's lightsaber, because I was kind of battling my oldest son, and he has Obi-Wan, or no, it's Anakin's, Luke's.
Oh yeah, the blue.
Yeah, the blue one. And I was playing with him, and the thing about what I was doing was I was hitting his lightsaber and then like rushing. I had Kylo Ren's, and I was rushing it down the blade and kind of like just tapping his hand with the blade, right? And he was trying to do it back to me, but I discovered because, well, it's based on, medieval swords, that you couldn't do that. It would stop it from hitting your hand. So I was like, that's a pretty. Obviously, it was a medieval thing, and they obviously well thought out. But yeah, it was just cool to see it on a when I first saw it on the lightsaber, I was like, oh, come on, like, this is gonna be a little bit hokey. But there's actually some function to it. So
yeah, we watched this cool video. It was by Nerdists, and they did why Kylo Ren's lightsaber really works. It says, if you didn't have those things, you'd have this, and this. It's showing clips of people getting their hands chopped off.
Yeah.
And this, and he's like, I could do this all day long.
Well, if Luke, then the question is, if Luke had that in Empire, would his hand, would it have been cut off?
Oh.
Who knows? It could. I don't know. Now it sounds like what's his name? Jerry Seinfeld. I don't know. Did it cut off or what? But yeah, I don't know if it's a cool design, right? So
yeah, I like how, because lightsabers are made out of plasma, how it actually looks like plasma. Like,
yep.
If you were actually to use plasma as a blade, that's how it would spark out.
Yeah. The other cool thing about it too is, did you see Ray Park use it? There's a video of Ray Park. He's the guy that did Darth Maul, and he's at. Am I correct? Yeah, I'm correct, right? Ray Park. Google it, someone. How could I get that name wrong? It was just coming off like I knew it, so obviously it's true. But anyway,
if you don't check it, they'll think it's true.
Yeah, all this hate mail. You're an idiot. How can you not know? But yeah, they gave him Kylo Ren's lightsaber, and he was like actually wielding it, and he was amazing with it, right? So it really does work. You can use it. There was this, I think, a little bit of backlash when people first saw it, because it was like, I don't know, when you think of like medieval, like it was just a throwback, kind of a cheap, at first when you first see it, you're like, that's like kind of a cheap copy of, it's like if he came out with like a lightsaber mace or something, you'd be like, oh, come on, like it's
whoa.
Done, man. Like, but yeah, it kind of makes sense when you hear about the Knights of Ren and all that stuff too, right? It's kind of an homage to medieval.
Did you watch the SNL Starkiller Base?
Oh yeah, Matt.
Yeah.
They also have the making of, which
that one
which,
was cool.
Yeah, they have the making of, so you see him doing all his goof ups and stuff, and because most of that's improv, right? So yeah,
That was hilarious.
Someone actually got a tattoo of Matt, the technician, on their leg. I was like, that's dedication, man, because
That's gonna be there for a while.
yeah, you'll be buried with that. I hope that you enjoy that. So
It's worth it.
yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, do it. But I recommend, if you're gonna get a tattoo of Matt the radar technician, to get it either on your face or on your top of your hand.
That's it for today. Thanks for listening to the Star Wars Battlefront podcast. If you would like to be featured in this podcast, leave a review on iTunes or tweet us at TyeDyeSheepYT or email us at battlefrontpodcast@gmail.com. If you feel you would give a good perspective on the podcast, we are open to special guests. Email us if you are interested. We're also thinking about opening a Patreon. Email us if you would think you would like that. Or if you would like that, email us something you would like in return for that donation. May the Force be with you. Always.
Rebels sighted. Rebels are progressing. Do not let them reach their extraction. Remember your training. That shipment must be stopped. The rebel princess won't be causing any more trouble.
You must stop that shipment.